Dear friends, hello everyone. Today we are going to prepare a super delicious dessert. A rich, dense, slightly chewy chocolate brownie with delicate coffee caramel, roasted hazelnuts, and flecks of salt. And all of this beneath a layer of dark chocolate. In the form of these bars, the classic brownie becomes even richer, more luxurious, more intriguing, and more striking. Let us get cooking. So for the brownie, we will need dark chocolate, alkalized cocoa powder, and butter. I will add hazelnut paste, and with it the brownie will become more aromatic. You may also use almond or peanut paste. The standard ingredients are flour, sugar, eggs, and definitely salt. I have salt flakes. They will not dissolve and will add a pleasant crunch in the finished dessert. And we will start by combining the dry ingredients. Into the sifted flour, we will sift the cocoa powder and mix them well. To the eggs, we will add all of the sugar and beat thoroughly with a mixer until a thick, fluffy, voluminous, pale mass forms. Next, in a double boiler, we need to melt the chocolate and the butter together. For this, we place a saucepan with water over heat and set a heat-proof bowl on top so that its bottom does not touch the water. Thus, the mixture will warm evenly from the rising steam, and it must be stirred constantly. You may also use a microwave for this purpose, heating the mixture in short bursts and each time stirring it well. And we heat the mixture to 45 to 50 degrees, no higher. The chocolate and the butter must fully combine, and the result will be a homogeneous, smooth, glossy mixture. Carefully remove it from the double boiler and add the hazelnut paste to it. Mix well, and the mixture will acquire an amazing chocolate nut aroma. Now we need to combine the chocolate mixture with the beaten eggs. We pour it in gradually, gently stirring the whole time so that it does not settle to the bottom. And when the entire mixture has been added, we gently stir with a spatula until uniform. All that remains is to add the dry ingredients and fold them in with a spatula until a uniform, thick, beautiful batter forms. And at the very end, add the salt flakes and fold them in. We pour the batter into a rectangular pan. Its dimensions, like the full recipe, will as always be listed in the description below the video. We spread the batter evenly and place it into an oven preheated to 170 degrees. And the most important point is to choose the baking time correctly. I bake for about 18 minutes. In your circumstances, the time may differ. You need to catch the moment when the surface of the brownie turns matte while the interior remains moist but not raw. When you lightly press on the surface, it will not collapse. It is very important not to over-dry the brownie, otherwise its very purpose will be lost, and that gooey texture will disappear. We leave the finished brownie to cool completely right in the pan, and then place it in the refrigerator until it is fully chilled. And only after that do we remove it from the pan and slice it. We trim a thin layer from the very edges and then slice the brownie into neat bars of equal length. Inside the brownie is dense and gooey, with a moist yet delicate texture, not raw, but velvety and rich. After chilling in the refrigerator, the brownie becomes firm, but if it sits at room temperature, its texture softens and changes. Here it depends on your preferences. I adore brownies straight from the refrigerator. Now we will need the most delicious part of our dessert, the chocolate coffee caramel. We already made it in the previous recipe, and I will leave a link to the detailed video in the description. I took the caramel out of the refrigerator in advance and waited for it to reach the right texture so it would be convenient to work with. If necessary, you can also warm it up very carefully. We transfer the caramel into a pastry bag and pipe it onto the surface of each brownie piece. Then we add our textural element, flavor accent, and perfect addition, roasted hazelnuts. We press the nuts into the caramel, using whole nuts as well as halves and large pieces. Do not skimp on either the nuts or the caramel. When I tasted the finished brownie, I thought that I could easily have put in more. When all the brownie pieces are decorated, we place them into the freezer so they can chill thoroughly before being coated with glaze. For the glaze, melt dark chocolate, mix it with vegetable oil, and using an immersion blender, combine well until completely uniform. Evenly pour the glaze over the frozen brownies on all sides and tap the rack so the excess chocolate can drip off. That way the glaze layer will not be thick. You can also dip each brownie entirely in the glaze, which will look neater, but significantly more glaze will be required. Then we transfer the glazed brownies onto a board lined with parchment paper and place them in the refrigerator so they can firm up. And with that, our most delicious dessert is ready. The bars look incredibly appetizing and dramatic. At a single glance, you immediately want to taste them. The texture of both the brownie and the caramel changes after refrigeration and at room temperature. Choose whichever you like better, but I will say right away that both options are excellent. The bars can be beautifully packaged in a box, or you can present each one individually. It will look very stylish. Friends, be sure to give it a try. It is very, very delicious. I hope that you have been inspired, and that is all from me. As always, I thank all of you for your attention. See you in new videos. Bye-bye.